Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. How you doing? What's your altered state like?
The gateway process and altered consciousness. Moving from the broad revelations of the declassified CIA document, we now focus on a specific and intriguing aspect within it, the gateway process. Developed by the Monroe Institute, this groundbreaking method represents an extraordinary venture into altered consciousness. The gateway process is more than a conceptual framework. It's a meticulously designed program that employs advanced audio techniques to modify brainwave frequencies, enabling practitioners to access states of consciousness that transcend our usual perception of reality. This process was developed through extensive research and experimentation by Robert Monroe. Fascinated by the potential of human consciousness, Monroe sought to create a systematic approach to expand the mind's capabilities. The technique employs a blend of binaural beats and guided meditations, aiming to synchronize the left and right hemispheres of the brain. This synchronization is believed to facilitate a unique state of consciousness where individuals can experience out-of-body experiences, deep spiritual insights, and encounters with other dimensions. What makes the gateway process even more intriguing is its adoption by the US military. In the late 20th century, amidst the Cold War era's fervor for intelligence and psychological operations, the US military saw potential in this method for enhancing cognition, intelligence gathering, and possibly even psychological warfare. This military interest provides a compelling testament to the seriousness with which these techniques were regarded, far from being mere fringe science or speculative fiction. As we delve deeper into the specifics of the gateway process, we uncover a world where sound frequencies can unlock doors to altered realities. Participants in the program have reported a wide range of extraordinary experiences, from profound personal transformations to encounters with non-physical entities and access to information beyond the known physical universe. These experiences are not only fascinating anecdotes, but also offer glimpses into the untapped potential of the human mind, challenging the perception of reality and consciousness. Redefining our grasp of consciousness and reality, we embark on an exploration that challenges the very foundation of how we perceive the world around us. The intriguing hypothesis we examine is this: the human brain, traditionally viewed as the creator of our reality, might actually function more akin to a filter or a receiver. This concept marks a significant departure from conventional thinking and suggests that our daily experiences are just the tip of an immense, largely unexplored cosmic iceberg. At the heart of this idea is the brain's reticular activating system, a critical gateway in our neural network. This system acts as a selective filter, processing an enormous amount of sensory data and information. But what if this filtering mechanism is only showing us a limited view? What if, beyond this filtered perception, there exists a vast expanse of reality teeming with possibilities and phenomena that we are ordinarily blind to? This theory gains further credibility when we consider the advancements in neuroscience and the study of altered states of consciousness. Techniques like the gateway process, which involves altering frequencies, provide compelling evidence that changing the brain's reception can lead to experiences that defy conventional understanding. Participants report profound encounters, including out-of-body experiences and interactions with non-physical entities, suggesting that our standard model of reality is just a small part of a much larger picture. The potential implications of this are staggering. If the brain is indeed a receiver, then by tuning it differently, we might access other dimensions or realities. This notion isn't just science fiction, it's a hypothesis grounded in emerging scientific thought and experimentation. It beckons us to consider the existence of realms, physical world, and the possibility that our consciousness might be capable of navigating these realms. Exploring this theory not only feeds our curiosity, but also holds the promise of profound personal growth. It invites us to stretch our minds beyond the familiar, to entertain possibilities that were once thought to be impossible. This journey through the mysteries of consciousness and the nature of reality isn't just intellectually stimulating, it's a venture that could fundamentally transform our understanding of existence. Absolute and universal hologram. Venturing deeper into the realm of the absolute and the universal hologram, as unveiled in the declassified CIA document, we embark on a profound exploration that traverses the boundaries of philosophy and science to question the very fabric of our existence. At the forefront of this exploration is the concept of the absolute, a pervasive, conscious energy that is posited as the foundational essence of all that exists. This concept transcends traditional philosophical or spiritual ideas, finding resonance in the realms of advanced physics and metaphysics. It proposes a revolutionary idea. At the core of everything, from the infinitesimal particles to the expansive universe, there exists a unified field of consciousness. This field is the ultimate reality, the bedrock upon which all else is built. This leads us to an intriguing hypothesis about the nature of our universe and the reality we experience, the idea that it might be holographic. According to this theory, the three-dimensional reality we perceive is actually a projection originating from this fundamental field of conscious energy. This holographic perspective implies that concepts such as space and time, matter and energy are not as solid and distinct as they appear, but are instead deeply interconnected and fluid. To understand this better, we delve into the levels of quantum physics, which provide a scientific framework for this theory. Quantum physics has revealed that at the microscopic level, the universe behaves in ways that defy traditional classical logic. This behavior aligns with the holographic model, especially in phenomena like quantum entanglement, where particles, regardless of the distance, instantaneously. Connectedness that transcends our standard understanding of space and time. The implications of a holographic universe are vast and profound. It means that our traditional perception of physical reality as a concrete and unchangeable structure is an illusion. Instead, reality is more akin to a vast, interconnected web of information, with each part influencing and reflecting the whole. This concept is akin to a hologram, where each fragment contains the whole image, suggesting that each part of the universe contains the entirety of existence within it. Exploring this holographic model further, we are led to reconsider the nature of consciousness itself. If consciousness is the foundation of the holographic universe, then our individual consciousnesses are not isolated or separate entities. Instead, they are integral aspects of this all-encompassing field of consciousness. This perspective offers a radical new understanding of our sense of self and our connection to the universe. It suggests that by exploring and understanding our consciousness, we can gain insights into the nature of reality itself. Conclusion. As we draw our exploration to a close, we take a moment to contemplate the profound implications of the concepts we've delved into. The journey through the declassified CIA document, the gateway process, the nature of consciousness, and the intriguing theory of the absolute and the universal hologram brings us to a pivotal point of reflection. One of the most significant implications of this information is its potential to bridge the divides between various world religions and philosophical systems. The concept of a unified field of consciousness, an all-encompassing absolute, resonates with the core teachings of many spiritual traditions. This common ground could pave the way for a new understanding of the universe, one that transcends religious and cultural boundaries, uniting humanity in a shared realization of our interconnectedness with the cosmos. This journey of discovery also invites each of us to embark on a personal quest for self-realization. Understanding our true nature as integral parts of a vast, conscious universe opens up new pathways for comprehending the mysteries of existence. It's a call to look within, to explore the depths of our consciousness, and to recognize our place in the grand tapestry of the universe. Reflecting on these ideas, we are encouraged to consider how this expanded understanding of consciousness and reality might transform our approach to life. Imagine the potential for a higher state of being, a world where our actions are guided by a deep awareness of our connection to everything around us. This isn't just about intellectual understanding, it's about experiencing a profound shift in how we perceive ourselves and the world.
Well, what do you think of that, kids? That is basically how I live my life. That's basically what I experience, right? But being the mud puppet I am, I can't always be 100% in, right? But illusion of the hologram is, in a tactile sense, extremely distracting. And in the Bible, they call it the old man, right? And that is what sin is, that distraction. I read earlier in the show Luke, Luke 6, from about 10 to 30, goes on about, it's Jesus's teachings, right? And in the writing of it, right? See, the beauty of the Bible is that it's poetry. The Bible was written before prose. Now, King James kind of proed it up, but its essence is a poem, a vibration, if it were, right? And Luke 6 does a great job of describing, you know, Jesus's presence as a harmonic thing. And you basically kind of feel it, right? And if you don't, you are just reading prose. If you do feel it, you're reading poetry, right? That's the difference. And most religions, because it's married to the materialism of paying the bills, are all about the contract, right? And they try and do their best, but they limit themselves, and that is part of the present world problem. Is that it's self-limiting, right? We do not expand ourselves past the hologram, right? Basically, we're like monkeys jacking off in the monkey house, right? And then throwing our shit in the face of the people down there, right? That's us, right? And the faces that we're hitting is all our relations, all the people that we, extract their existence for our profit or seeming profit because it really isn't profitable, you know? And, we get to be hamstrung by things of this nature, right? Things like this.
Were going to make us do it. From the great state of North Carolina. Here he is calling. North Carolina. Here he is calling survivors of school gun massacres, quote, media prostitutes, as in prostitutes, but prostitutes. He calls them spoiled little bastards who need to shut up. Again, this is for kids who lived through a school shooting that killed 17 of their classmates. They need to shut up. He calls public school teachers, quote, wicked people. And not for nothing, he says this about the Holocaust. He says, quote, Hitler disarming millions of Jews and then marching them off to concentration camps is a bunch of hogwash. He is the Republican Party's leading candidate to be their party's nominee for governor of the state of North Carolina. He will be on the ballot tomorrow. North Carolina.
Good luck with that.
On Friday in Florida, Republicans in that state legislature passed yet another new law to restrict any teaching about racism in the United States. This happened just this past Friday, just a couple days ago in Florida. And in the debate over this new Florida bill, one Republican Florida state representative, this bill overall will restrict teaching about racism and things. Florida, he said there is one specific thing that he wanted to make sure is included in public education in Florida from here on out. He said while he supports this bill, he does want to make sure everybody's aware that slaves were, quote, paid for their work. And so he wants to make sure that's taught in schools. And then he voted for the bill. This, of course, comes in Florida after the state's Republican governor tried to claim during his presidential campaign that there were actually a lot of underappreciated benefits of slavery for the people who were enslaved. The chair of the Florida Democratic Party put out a statement in response, clearly just mystified, saying, quote, Florida Republicans are hell-bent on teaching our children that slavery wasn't bad. And it is hard to argue. I know, it's insane, but it keeps happening. Hop over to Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, Republicans control the state government there too, and like just about everywhere, that's true. Oklahoma Republicans have now banned abortion in almost every circumstance, but that apparently is not enough for them. Oklahoma Republicans are now moving a new bill that would create a state registry of every woman who does still find a way to get an abortion. I wonder what Oklahoma Republicans will want to do with a state database of women who have undergone abortions. I'm sure they want it for only the most respectful and responsible reasons. Other lawmakers are warning that the way the Oklahoma bill is written, it looks like it's also, in addition to creating a registry of women who have had abortions, it also seems intended to ban contraception, including forms of contraception like the IUD. That's what Oklahoma Republicans are up to. In Alabama, you may remember the 9 Republican justices on the Alabama Supreme Court issued a unanimous ruling that effectively outlawed fertility treatment in that state. After Alabama's Supreme Court Republicans did that, Democrats in Congress in Washington introduced federal legislation to protect fertility treatment and protect IVF. That legislation by Republican U.S. Senator Cindy Hines.
Cindy.
219 Republicans in Congress right now. In the House, there's 219. Of that 219 number of Republicans, 125 of them are co-sponsors of legislation that would ban IVF. And arguably many popular forms of contraception as well. 125 House Republicans, more than half the Republicans in the House, co-sponsored that, including the Republican Speaker of the House. 125 of them. 195 of them voted against contraception, full stop. The Right to Contraception Act was introduced by Democrats after the Republican appointees on the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. The right to contraception. Only 8 Republicans in Congress voted for that. 195 voted against. And let's just stick with healthcare just for a second. Florida again. Florida, they are now contending with a super worrying outbreak of measles. Measles, like it's the 1800s or something. One of the most transmissible pathogens on Earth. And one we typically have to worry about anymore in this country because for 60 freaking years, we've had a totally effective vaccine against measles. Except in Florida, Republicans picked a very special state surgeon general who's now telling Florida parents, oh, who am I to suggest that perhaps kids should be vaccinated against measles?
Yesterday, the Florida Department of Health released a letter from Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo emphasizing how contagious measles is, but did not urge parents to vaccinate their children.
He does not, which is an interesting letter from a Surgeon General.
Who am I to say your kids should be vaccinated? The hand Republican-picked Florida Surgeon General wouldn't even say that kids with measles should stay home from school while they're infectious and symptomatic with one of the most transmissible, potentially fatal pathogens known to mankind. Measles in Florida. Not to be outdone, now the Republican Party's leading presidential candidate is saying on the stump that he will withhold all funding, not a penny, from any school anywhere in America if kids have to be vaccinated to come to school.
Donald Trump saying this.
Kids have to be vaccinated all over the country, everywhere, against measles and mumps and polio. I mean, it's been true for decades. It's been true for generations. But just in case you've been missing, I don't know, iron lungs, the Republican Party is raring to go this election year with a new measles and polio for all the kids plan. And what swing state busy mom and dad isn't going to want to get the whole family to lick that doorknob and vote GOP this November with that kind of platform on offer to the American people? Can we get a smallpox over here? How about some tetanus for the little ones? Whooping cough like it's going out of style. I do want to give the Missouri Republican Party a little bit of a shout out, though. A little salute, a little stiff-armed salute, perhaps. This gentleman, not the one in the Klan robe with a sheet over his head, but the guy next to him. And you can see him also in this photo. He is not the guy with the full Klan neo-Nazi uniform on with the tie on the right. No, he's the guy next to him. You can see if you put the images next to each other, he's got the same little thing on in both images, the glasses around his neck on those like croquis style things. Yeah, so that guy, the one who, with the burning cross behind him, is making the Roman salute with the Klansmen, and then in the other photo with the neo-Nazi uniform guy in front of the neo-Nazi flag. He is running for the Republican nomination for governor of the great state of Missouri. And I said I wanted to shout out the Missouri Republican Party here, and I do, because they are now frantically trying to remove him from the ballot. So the neo-Nazi Klan guy can't be their Republican nominee for governor. Once they announced that they were trying to get him off the ballot, he responded this weekend saying, quote, "The GOP knew exactly who I am." Republicans in Missouri, including the Missouri Secretary of State, are trying to get him off the ballot now fast, while also trying to explain away what appear to be themselves like taking pictures with that guy. While he says, you knew exactly who I was. You want one from Georgia? In Georgia, Republicans there are on the cusp of approving a new license plate, a new official license plate for the state of Georgia. And this one comes with a little history. In 1944, right, this is the apex of the Allies' final push to defeat the Nazis and win World War II. When FDR was running for his fourth term in office, the Republicans ran Thomas Dewey against him in the 1944 election. There was also a third party in the mix in 1944. They ran a preacher for president in 1944 who called himself a Christian nationalist. He ran on a platform that said that all American Jews should be forcibly sterilized and then deported from the United States. That party was called the America First Party. Around the same time, there was also an organization called America First Incorporated, America First Inc. The leader of that group received a patent for a club that he said was specifically designed to murder Jews in America. He patented it in men's and ladies' sizes. He called it the Kike Killer, forgive me. He ran an organization called America First Inc. Both those organizations, the America First Party and America First Inc., in the 1940s were trying to capitalize on the notoriety and the name recognition of the America First Committee, which had at one point been very popular in the United States, but it started to wobble a little bit after its chief spokesman in 1941, Charles Lindbergh, gave a big speech in Iowa saying the only reason we were going to end up fighting in World War II is because the Jews were going to make us do it. The America First Committee, the America First Party and America First, Inc. Georgia Republicans are about to approve a new taxpayer-supported official state Georgia license plate that says America First on it. The Republican Party is kind of amazing right now. No matter where you look, no matter what state you look, contraception, you're trying not to have a baby, that's over. IVF, if you're trying to have a baby, that's over too. The Holocaust denier should be the Republican nominee for governor. The sterilize the Jews and deport them movement should be memorialized on official state Georgia license plates. We want really, really, really small government that's nevertheless big enough to make an Oklahoma state registry of every woman who's ever had an abortion, and we'll tell you later what we're going to do with it. Slaves had it great, actually. Slavery wasn't so bad. Let Florida Republicans tell you about it. It's retirees. It's the AARP that's the real evil in America. Tetanus and measles, honestly, they're kind of cute when it's for babies. And did I mention that on Friday, the leader of the Republican Party, the next Republican presidential nominee, is going to host at his home the authoritarian dictator of Hungary? Because dictators are kind of a thing for those guys right now, like polio is. We're back. I mean, the Republican Party is going through some things right now. Right up to the top, and in every state in the country.
And what she's not really telling Rachel.
You know, there are calibers that are putting you at risk in a self.
Enough. What Rachel isn't telling us is that the Republican Party used to be the liberal party. They were the progressive party. The Democrats were the guys, Jim Crow and the Civil War and all of that. And again, all of this is an illusion. You can't get the drift that this is someone trying to pull your chain. Not to say that what Rachel said wasn't true, or what you hear on Fox about Joe Biden, snorting something. It's don't believe a word I say, But the gentleman who is talking about, consciousness, right? Well, I was, I knew about that personally. From 1968 to 1988, I was quite involved in that, in a corporate sense. I mean, I worked for entities like, the Seal Corporation, Inc., and others, right? Now, the Seal Corporation, Inc., I don't think exists anymore, so I can talk about it, but I had to kind of sign a non-disclosure, and pretty much everybody else I worked for, I had to sign. Pretty much everyone I ever worked for, I had to sign a non-disclosure form. And that's why I can tell stories and don't believe a word I say about the things I've experienced, right? And I can show it to you, right? We have a few minutes right here, right now. And there's nobody there, but there might be somebody later on. So put down a nice comfy seat and relax. Breathe in through nose. Breathe deeper. And breathe out even more deeper. You're evacuating. Let it go. And as you're breathing in, you're breathing in the prana, the life force of God. And you're breathing out. You're evacuating all the negative energy that you've accumulated through your life, through this week, through this day, through this minute. All the things you worry about, all the things that annoy you, that get you angry, all those things don't exist. I played what Rachel Maddow was saying just so you could experience that thing. Right? Because either you were like, yeah, that makes sense to me, or, oh my God, that's terrible. Rachel Maddow is really good at riding that razor blade of the emotional dynamic of Hollywood. So are the people at Fox, and really good stuff, and CNN and NBC and all the rest of the news outlets do the same thing. They are the same entity. They are the corporate structure. There is no difference. It is the constant barrage of making you uncomfortable, angry, so you can't find that spot inside of you that is conditional. You have to put all of that stuff behind you. Right? Get behind me, Satan, and see all your life in the rearview mirror that has gone past. And the rearview mirror is a small thing, whereas the thing in front of you is the windshield, and that's really big. The rear view mirror is like 1/20th of what the windshield is, give or take. And that's what you should not be living in 1/20th of your life. You should be living in the other 92% of it. So anyway, I just wanted to get a hold of you and give you a little. Oh, I got about 25 minutes. Anybody there? Anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to be part of this cadre conversation? Leave if you don't even make a comment now, leave a comment later, right? The earlier part of the description of consciousness, go play that in, a room where there are no lights, where you just have the glow of the screen and put it facing away from you and let that voice explain to you that. That was a good 15, 20 minutes of explanation of that, right? Now you're in a state, right? Just breathing. Are you still breathing deep? Breathing in the prana of God and evacuating all your anxiety. If you're doing that, you're going into state. That is the singular, quickest, easiest way to get into that conscious state of understanding the matrix. That is the illusion that we were placed in when we committed the original sin. Original sin was, and God did it on purpose, so we would have to pick freely to understand what the relationship is with love's co-creation, instead of pretty much all the other all our relations, all the other animals and creatures and phylas, and they all follow that plan without question. They put it, put all of their angst behind them, and they follow that plan. Now you can do the same, right? But consciously. Right? Now, it has been shown that pretty much all animals, especially mammals, are intelligent. They have languages. They use tools. They have a consciousness. They are trying to communicate with us. But we're the morons who can't shut up. Oh. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and the early one I did this morning. Anyway, so that's 2 for today, and it should show up there somewhere tomorrow, right? But I'm going to, while there's still sun, I have a few things to do. And so, see you later, guys. And I really care for you, and stay in state. Be in communication with God's unconditional love. Get a hold of me at the Dude Awake 42 at Dreamland. The Dude Awake 42 at Dreamland. No, it's the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail. Dude Awake 42 at Gmail. The Dreamland is my YouTube channel that you're watching me on, right? So, subscribe, hit that little bell, make some comments, give some thumbs up, all the rest, So I'll talk to you later. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really love you, love you, love you.